Welcome to part two. We're joined by Cherry Chapadama, a banker from London via Zimbabwe and Sheffield. He'll be joining us in a second. I'm just eating a slice of toast. A lot of people see me eating on there. I eat like a pig. First thing I had today, that. I hope people don't think I'm a bit harsh on you either, but it frustrates me, it does. Gets frustrating after a while. So I help all those people sending me emails saying you need to comment on it. I hope you're all happy now. But no, it's very frustrating when you're seeing someone who's got world-class ability and they're not getting the chances. And I'm seeing other people, like Derek Chisora, who's got 13 losses and he's shot to shit, can't even string a sentence together, and earning millions of pounds. Right, welcome to part two. We're joined by Terry. Froch, what's that?
Your best mate.
Well, I love him to death, don't I? But his media skills and his word of oak, he's not got a word of oak, has he?
Nope. I told you this
The
would come.
concept of his channel, what was the concept of his channel when he started? No, you're going to say more popular version than me, but the concept of his channel, well, good.
Less popular version of you. Go to Porky Russ. He's the best.
The Dark Lord. What's happened to his channel? Where's he lost his way here? Where's he lost his way? Let's put it to bed once and for all.
So here's what happens, right? He thought he could be Carl Froch the boxer and Carl Froch the media guy.
Yeah.
And then he did Carl Froch the media guy. And then people in boxing were like, mate, there's a reason we keep those guys on the outside. Yeah. If you want to be like them, cool, but you're going to be on the outside. So do you want to be on the outside or do you want to be on the inside? And Carl suddenly went, my ego ain't going to let me be on the outside, so I have to be on the inside. And then he's gone, maybe I can look like I'm giving boxing a kicking, but really I'm being nice to you guys. He's tried to almost play both sides. And then he's fallen into this Conor Ben trap. I think this is how they set him up. They said, look, let's let Carl do the Turkey interview. Let's let Carl do the Conor Ben interview. And then all those people who watch him will realize he's a fake hardcore. And I do. I think Hearn has set him up to do that as well. Like, yeah, we'll show him that he hasn't got the balls to have a go at Conor Ben. Watch.
You know why, though? Because he's friends with Tony Sims, who were in his corner all his career, so it would have been hard for Carl, wouldn't it, really, to go after Ben?
Why did he interview then?
I know, yeah, that's what I thought, you see. I don't know.
I would have said no.
It's disappointing, when he gets up, but then again, some people are so stubborn and they don't know they're doing it. He must look, I know him personally, so he'll look in mirror, Carl, in the morning, and can he look at himself in that mirror? I don't think he can. I think he's so
I think
loud.
he can.
I don't think he can. I think he's
I think there's been this massive myth built around Carl Froch. I think the version you're seeing now, the happy to do as he's told sort of guy, this is who he is when he's got no leverage. This is the Carl Froch you had under Mick Hennessy. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not surprised that he's desperate. Because remember the Mick Hennessy Carl Froch begging Calzaghe for fights and stuff? That's the Carl I remember. Now, that's the Carl that got bullied by Andre Ward. And now everyone's beginning to see what I saw years ago. So I'm just sat here sipping my lemonade going, told you.
No, Terry, come on. His CV is fantastic, isn't it? Come on.
Are you talking about Carl the boxer or are you talking about Carl the media guy?
The media, his media work leaves a lot to be desired because you set your stall out, don't you? What you're doing with your channel, and his stall it's changed, hasn't it? What he's doing, you've got to be consistent. I'd like to think I've been consistent for 7.5 years doing this. I think
no, you can change. No, you can change as long as you can explain why you change. If you can say, look, here's the reason I had to change. I don't mind Carl coming out going, look, for what I'm trying to achieve in the media game, I couldn't be that person anymore. I don't mind that, right? But it's going to harm your image if you do that. What I don't agree with is him trying to pretend like nothing's changed. It's like, no, mate, you came out and you gave everyone in boxing a kicking, and then you wanted a few freebies in Saudi, and you realize people were shutting the door on you, and then you had to go back and beg for mercy. That's the cringeworthy bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I felt for him really, like hanging about, waiting for interviews and stuff like that, and you sense that people were a bit, kind of thing, wanting to have an interview with him and stuff like that. And why
So
is he running around? He's got millions of pounds. Why would you be wanting to run around with being a camera jockey, just like the rest of them?
when you're a legend, you're a British boxing legend,
Hall of Famer, and you're running around with a YouTube channel. I can't get my head around it, Terry.
mate. Ego's a powerful force, mate.
Yeah, but Terry, you've got to understand that he doesn't need the dough. He's a Hall of Famer. What is he doing?
he hates not being recognized, mate. I
Yeah,
can
but he's never
guarantee
going
that's
to
what
be
it is.
forgot. It's never going to be forgot what he did
No,
in
he
that
no no he
ring.
is though. No, he is. Yeah, he is, Russ. Like the number of times I've been at boxing shows and I've seen people who put it down for the sport. Yeah, guys who entertain for years, guys like Gary Logan, and they can walk around an event and nobody knows who they are. It happens to everyone eventually, and I think that spooked Carl. I think Carl's like, I've got to be on this internet thing in order to still be a name that people talk about. And I think that's what it is. He can't hack the idea that there are people less talented than him that took fewer risks than him that are getting more views than him. And he's like, no, 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 no. I want everything.
Well, he shouldn't have asked me to come on his channel, should he? And then cock off because he's trying to get in with that lot.
Mm.
Otherwise, then again, I would still be talking about him doing the Turkey interview because once he got out that interview, I was like, yes, going to put it on him about that national anthem.
He's never
So,
going to do that.
well, I would have. So why are you playing that in Wembley Stadium? What are you doing? Why
Well,
forget
mate, they
your...
paid for it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. There were no Saudis fighting,
So
so
they paid for it. Their money, their rules, right? If you pay for something, Russ, can you imagine you went to a restaurant and you ordered, I don't know, what would you order in a restaurant, Russ?
hey, curry.
Yeah. Imagine I brought you a Chinese.
I said, what's this? I've ordered the curry.
Yeah, listen, I came to pay for a curry. Give me my curry. Yeah. And that's kind of what the Saudis are doing. They're like, look, if we're putting all this money into Joshua Dubois, you better sing our anthem.
Well, it disappointed me that the Turkey interview. But what I want to know is two things I need to know. Where's John Fury and where's this Carl Froch Conor Ben interview? Where are they? Are they lost like Lord Lucan? Where are
Where
they?
is John? Well, what did you do to him, Russ? Where is he?
Terrorised him, man, for 5 years. I've done all that poking on them billboards with Mickey Theo, and I'm thinking, oh, we'll get this fight and we're going to get some right money off these pay-per-view people. Platform people coming down to Essex to see us at lot. Oh, I'm going to be in for a good few quid here, just like Juggy as Oliver did, with that Joe Weller thing. Me and Mick were like that. Spunked on me down these billboards, and John Fury went missing. So I thought, right, I'm going to come after you, you cunt. Yeah. Fucking shouting off about being this big fighting man in the 50. Never happened, did it? It
Wait
was
right there,
tough.
John. I've got some questions for you, John.
Yeah, yeah. It's like this. There's talkers and there's salt and vinegar walkers, isn't there? But it is what it is. Big shout out Peter De Freitas battling cancer. Well done winning the 100 quid. I'm glad you got your dough paid into your bank, but I wish you all the best and I pray for you every night, Pete. Awful that,
Yeah,
isn't
prayers
it?
up. Yeah.
We'll give Clinton a shout out as well because his dad's dying, isn't he, in hospital?
Mate, we're getting to
Awful.
that age now where these things are just more and more frequent.
I know Clinton was devastated on boxing the other days. It's awful, isn't it? Death, isn't it? You think?
It's awful, but it's inevitable. So it's almost, how do you manage that emotionally? You know it's coming,
Oh,
right? But nothing prepares you for when it comes.
I know. I know. Okay, now to Big Ron. What's happening here? I feel sorry for Dennis because there's great. There's nothing left to match up, is there really now for matchmakers in UK? Because anybody with an half decent record, they don't. They're waiting for Saudi call, aren't they? So they're left with shit, aren't they, on small odds? Steve Goodwin, Steffi, And Steffi's gone. Steve Goodwin hardly puts out on now, does he?
No, he's still regular enough.
Not as regular as he used to be, though, is he?
Probably not.
Mo Pryor, is he pretty much on?
Uh, nah, I think in that Mo Pryor space, Alfie Warren's eating up a lot of their food.
Last time I seen Mo Pryor, I was sat with Chris Smedley and we were sat at York Hall, Liam Cameron and Dennis. And I says, are you all right, Mo? He went, yeah, not too bad. I says, what's the matter with him, Chris? He had an handkerchief and they always look stressed out, don't the small old promoters? They always run up and down. Chris says, looks like he's going to have an heart attack. He was sweating like profusely like a pig.
Ah, it's boiling in there though.
It is,
Your
to
call's
be
like a
honest, York
greenhouse.
Hall is hot, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I hope he's all right, Mo. But getting back to Big Ron, Dennis, I know he'll be embarrassed with them shows because he always used to look at the box rec ranking and average and all this. What's average for the show? I know he'll be embarrassed. But what's the answer? What does he do? Does he step out and be a manager? Or does he keep plowing forward? Because he's got his leg in with that fight zone, hasn't he now?
It's a fight zone his.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, it is. Yeah, not
Yeah.
all of
So,
it. I would assume he's
so
partnered up and all that. He always has consortiums, Dennis, does he? You know,
here's the thing though,
OPM
Russ.
in it, other people's money.
It's what happened to Dennis is what happens when you chase things instead of building things. So if you look at that show at Chelsea Football Ground, how many of those people involved with Dennis were there when we were up in Sheffield?
None. Oh, Grant, I think you know what was Daily Sport. I think he's been involved years with him, and he always turns up with a page free bird on each arm, doesn't he? You know, with black hair, that Grant. But
Yeah,
none of them others, Crump weren't involved then.
yeah.
Um,
So so then I look at Den and I go, why wouldn't you have stuck with the people that made the effort when they didn't have to?
yeah.
And now you're there, you're chasing this person, that person, um,
Roy
this, that.
Jones and Jug Ears Oliver were there like that with hand out.
Yeah, everyone had their hand out, and
Where were
like,
they 10 years ago?
yeah, why weren't they doing comms at those shows in Leicester, etc.? You know what I mean, traipsing halfway across the country, and Den's paying a heavy price for wanting to be seen around certain people. And I keep saying this, I'm going to say this over and over again. In boxing, you have to control strategic assets.
Mm.
He doesn't control strategic assets. And how many times have you heard me say it, Russ? Dennis had a perfect opportunity about 6, 7 years ago to hoover up a lot of these kids you're seeing now on Queensbury, Matchroom, etc. Right? Could have
Listen,
had them on management deals easily, and he would have been the most influential man in boxing,
yeah.
and he would have been hard to budge at that point.
Mm.
And we've said all of this stuff to him. I've said this today. I say this to Den regularly. You know, like we'll text about football and stuff. And I said, because I look right, and I'm like, you're spending all this money getting all these people to do comms for what? None of them move the needle. You know, like I'll see the Fight Zone Instagram feed, and they'll go live for something, and there are 3 people viewing it, and I'm like, I can go live and come on, man, I can go live and hit 200-300 people. Not because I'm great or anything, just because when it comes to boxing, I'm mildly entertaining.
Mm.
But he's paying a heavy price. Like either you want to win or you want the ego. I don't know what Dennis wants at this point. I just think you get to that age, Russ, where whether it's business or fighting, whatever, you're just not who you used to be. You're not fearless. You're not hungry anymore.
No,
I
I'll
don't
tell
think
you what it
Dennis is
is,
hungry.
mate. I'll tell you what it is. Sorry for butting you. I'll tell you what it is. People that he has in his businesses are not experts in their fields. That's always been his problem. Oh, I'm going to put him in that position, put him on a good wage. He's my pal. I trust him. Yeah, but he's not an expert in that field. Then he's, hey, no, man, he's my pal. That's where he goes wrong. He's my pal. He's my pal. He's a pal of mine. There's no pals in boxing. I realised that after 7 days that nobody's anybody's pals. You see people go into Dennis's office. and they're nice and they chat and all that, and then they go, and then they slag each other off. And I'm like, well, thought we didn't like him. Why am I making a cuppa for them and you don't like them? Then no, I'm gonna play a game. No, there's no pals in boxing. You know what I mean? Russell, can you pick so and so up from airport? Well, thought you hated him. Yeah, but well, I do. But I'm gonna stink mix, aren't we? That won't be me. I'm a coal miner's son. So his problem has been putting people in position who are not experts in their field. I've seen it in his other businesses, and he's learnt from that. So why don't they put experts in boxing? Not of that Jason, who is it? You remember who had 6 sugars in his tea? That 30,
McCrory.
yeah, him, 30 stoner. He was wobbling about with that. Fat, he was fatter than me. Well, how can he be fatter than me? I was fattest man in the world at the time. 6 sugars in his tea and having naps in afternoon on that leather couch in office. Oh, what's he doing? He's having a nap. What? What? On a 9 to 5er, matching fighters, having 3 hours kip in an afternoon. I was like, oh God, he ain't gonna last long, and he didn't. He's not an expert. That's why Bricktop got rid of him. They all
Mm.
talk a good game, don't they? In boxing, everybody talks a good game, like Sam Jones. He talks a good game. He runs his mouth off, doesn't he? And when I see him, I'm going to close it for him. But
Wow.
people in boxing, they're all good gunners, aren't they? Gonna do this, gonna do that. To be fair to Dennis, he's put his money where his mouth is, but it's all come on top for him, hasn't it? All
Yeah,
the
I think
how's he done 179 shows? And I think, well, if I've not worked with him for 3 years, where have them 100 shows come from? Where have them other 100 shows come from? Because you're letting other people put shows on with your license. How stupid is that? Why would you put your name to shit? Why? To get it on that fight zone. It's a load of shit, right? And you know what you've got to do when you get involved with shit? You get rid of it, Terry. Do you know why? Because it leaves stains. So, and he's got his just deserves now because he didn't listen to people like me and you and other people like Chris Smedley, other matchmakers, other people in the industry. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Well, got to do this, got to keep Tommy Frank happy. What a flyweight that does 120 tickets. What is that? What happened to Tommy Frank now? I remember Tommy Frank when phone rung, Queensbury. Do you want to fight Sonny Edwards for the British title? No, we're going in a different direction. Why have you said that? Why would you say that? If you're knocking British title fights back, what are you in game for?
mm.
Can't you bring him back like you did Clinton when he lost to Dave Starry, and then Clinton went British, Commonwealth, European, and world champion over 3 years, wasn't he? Same amount of length of time as Mike Tyson's reign, Clinton's, but he had no PR, did he, behind him? So what you bring him back if Sonny Edwards beats him? Because they shit the pants, didn't they? Him and Glyn Road to shit the pants. Tommy will get beat and he does 100 odd tickets. What? He
Mhm.
got a British title in the end, then they bought him one, didn't they? But when I see things like that, I think, what am I doing here? Wasting my fucking time. Whatever happened to rolling dice, you know? I don't know, what do you think?
Let's come back to what I said earlier. I just think Dennis is almost looking for an answer. Like he's hoping that one of these people that he's hitching his wagon to is the answer. Spencer Oliver is the answer. Nope. Roy Jones is the answer.
Yeah,
Nope.
you
These
know.
are all because they're all looking at Dennis, looking at him like, yo, you're the answer to us.
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's the one. He jumped in there with Spencer Oliver, and I've seen Dennis on Talksport, and I know what it comes out with PR and all this. And when he said, "Listen, Anthony Joshua needs to be trained by Spencer Oliver and Roy Jones," and then next thing he's doing a transatlantic couple of shows with Roy Jones as one captain, Spencer's other captain, and they're taking the free gratis as well. And I thought, is that what you're trying to do? Get in via that way? Because these don't give a shit about you. Roy Jones don't give a shit about Dennis. He can go down there to Dennis's Gap at Jersey and be wine and dine and picked up at airport and all that knackers. Roy Jones cares about Roy Jones. And that's the bottom line, isn't it? You don't care for Dennis. He'll do an evening with in Jersey at Dennis's hotel or whatever and get paid. And that'll be it. And there'll be all tax exiles sat there. Oh, Roy Jones is here. So what are they going to talk about? Beating James Toney after that. It was just all downhill, wasn't it? Do you know? I don't know, mate, but I don't think Roy Jones and Spencer Oliver are the answer to Dennis's problems. The answer to his problems is simple. Sign fucking fighters. Get on with it. Stop talking about it and saying I've got something bubbling. And it's all come home to roost, hasn't it? At that show. And then this one at all that the people are saying is going to get pulled. So I mean, how are the board even licensing that fight? It's white collar, isn't it? When you've got seven men on an eight and a TBA on a card that's on in 5 weeks or wherever it is, how can they all be ranked outside 1,000 except one? Well, what is that? That's white collar, Terry, isn't it? It's what I should go upstairs now, shouldn't I? And get me Dennis Hobson white collar t-shirt on and stick it to him proper. But I'm not that type of
No,
guy, am I?
no, because deep down we feel for Den because inside of Dennis Hobson is a very sharp boxing mind, right? Like he gets it. Like boxing wise, there's almost this bit that Dennis gets when it comes to boxing, and then there's a bit that he doesn't get, right? And he hasn't really pulled people around him that get that bit, so he doesn't know who the next generation is, and he's not supposed to because he's busy doing other stuff. But Den's not plugged into the next generation. Den's not plugged into how the next generation behave. He's not plugged into who the key trainers are right now. He's not plugged into what are the good relationships to have in the sport right now. He's not plugged into any of that because he's, like you said, he's not in the country. But he hasn't got anyone around him that is plugged into that.
Well, I felt for him with that last night because it was an absolute joke. And that one at all, oh, that's lowest ranked box rec one a year. In the
I don't, I don't, I don't know what you do. If you're, remember I said this to you before, us. I said if I was Dennis, I'd just start again.
you start again. You've got to
I,
start again and sign some people. You can't be messing about with shit 'cause it leaves stains. You want to go into part three?
yep.
Right, I'll see you on part three. Pop, pop, bang. Thanks for liking or subscribing and leaving a comment. We're sorry if we're being hard hitting today. But I don't care. But if you've got a problem, we'll have to get in close. Come on, pop, pop, bang.